Today, we on the eve of a so-called new year. And I don't know how it's possible for us to be in a new year in the middle of winter. When everything is dead, there's nothing new. But this is supposed to be a new year. So today, I'm going to talk to you about having two opinions with Yah. Having two opinions with Yah. I don't know how many of us have considered whether or not the Most High approves of the activities that has been going on for the last week or so. Most of us look at it as something that's been happening ever since they've been alive, and it's something natural for them. The Creator let us know that His new year start in the springtime, when everything is beginning to grow. Everything is new. The weather has changed. So is it all right, knowing what the Creator have told us, to actually participate in what society is doing with their so-called holy days or holidays, with Christmas and New Year's? Most people don't understand that December the 25th starts the beginning of the winter solstice. And from December to January the 1st, you have the days beginning to grow long again. You have the birth of the sun. It has nothing to do with the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. And this is the thing that we have to understand. So having two opinions with Yah, does that work? And my answer to that, it will not work. The Creator will have nothing to do with it. The scriptures tell us in Amos, the 3rd chapter, in the 3rd verse, can two walk together except they be agreed? Can you have the light of the Most High with you, and yet the darkness of the deities of the land or the beliefs of the land? It will not work. In order for you to walk with the Most High and to prosper with the Most High, you have to agree with the Most High. The Creator tells us in Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter, in the 9th verse, it tells us that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. When you are walking hand in hand with the Most High, it's better than you trying to do it by yourself. Are you walking alone? It say, for if they fall, the one will lift the other, will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he has not another to help with him. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? If there is two people on the same accord, doing the same thing, working together, they can make things happen. It say, if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. When people are together on issues, nobody can conquer you when you're working together. The way we are defeated is when we are divided one with the other. We can't agree on certain issues. And we are so-called African Americans, where the majority of us are participating in this so-called New Year's, or this so-called Christmas. All of us who are participating in it is in total contradiction to the Almighty. And then you have others who do not agree with it at all. They are totally against New Year's. They are totally against Christmas. They are totally against Hanukkah, or all of these other so-called holy days. If we can't agree on that, how are we going to agree on anything else? We say that we are following the Almighty, but there are some of us who still want to participate in Christmas, New Year, Thanksgiving, days that the Almighty never mentioned, but we want to participate in it. The scriptures tell us that there's, in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, in the 24th verse, and this is something I want you to understand. If you cannot come together over these small issues, how are we going to come together on big issues? When I look at a mother and their children, when I look at a father and their children, when I look at a husband and a wife, think about if you disagree on everything in your home. Think about it this way. If the husband want to go right and the wife want to go left, how are you going to make it? If you say you're a Christian and you say you believe in the 10 Commandments, but you got somebody else you worshiping, how can you walk with somebody who accept what the scriptures say when it says, thou shalt have no other deities before me? So if in the home the Creator tell us that we have to walk together, The same thing here. We're going to have to walk together. We can't walk contrary to each other, and we can't walk contrary to the Most High. So the Creator tells us in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, in the 24th verse, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. One flesh. They have to become one. We can't go in different directions if we're going to prosper. No relationship can prosper when people are going in different directions. I'm saying we have to do it the way that the Most High tells us. If we are to survive, we have to do it in a way that is in agreement with the Almighty. We have to agree. We can't be in opposition to the Creator. In Leviticus, the 26th chapter, in the 23rd verse, look at what the Creator tells us would happen to him, will happen to us if we are in disagreement with him. It says, if you would not be reformed by me by these things, but will walk contrary unto me, then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. If we walk contrary to the Most High will punish us. And we look at, well, everybody else is doing it, why I can't do it? Everybody else agree with the new year being in January, why I can't do it? Everybody else participating in Christmas, why I can't do it? Everybody else doing what they want to do on the Sabbath day, they going shopping, they doing what they want to do, why I can't do it? We have to learn how to walk in the way that the Most High wants us to walk in. The scriptures tell us in Proverbs 14 and verse 12, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. It might seem right because everybody else is doing it, but that doesn't make it right. And we have to understand, our greatest failure comes when we start making it right in our mind. When we start putting things in our head to say that it's all right. I think about how in the land of Babylon, when the people began to build this great tower that would reach up to heaven. And the most amazing thing about it is everybody was in agreement. But everybody was wrong. I often tell this story when I was in the military and we was putting a bomb together and they were showing us how to do it. I'm looking at everybody else, they doing it the same way I'm doing. And I'm looking over at this other guy and he doing it different. I say, man, he ate up. Everybody else is doing it the same way I'm doing it, so I must be right. And when we got finished, the drill sergeant looked at the guy that had done it the wrong way. He said, this is a good example how everybody else is wrong and he is right. The thing about it, because everybody else is doing it, that doesn't make them right. And here we have in Babylon, when everybody was speaking the same speech, speaking the same language, everybody was in accord with one another. They decided that they was going to be like the Most High, that they was going to build a tower and go up to heaven. And look at what it tells us in Genesis, the 11th chapter, and the first verse. It says the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. The whole earth. It said, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. You know, with the internet and other things that are going on, guess what's happening? The earth is becoming of one speech. They're able to communicate with each other. And I want us to be conscious of that, because these people were destroyed. They were divided. It said, they said one to another, go to and let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go to and let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach up unto heaven. And let us make a name. Listen at what they say. Let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Let us make this tower so we can have a spot where we can always come to. Whenever we get lost, we can just look toward this place. And the Creator came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. And the Creator said, behold, the people is as one. And they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. They all have one language now. They are all on one accord. But guess what they are not? They are not on one accord with the Most High. They are on one accord with each other. The thing that they are doing is in total contradiction to the Almighty. So he said, go to, and let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Let's confuse them so they won't understand each other. Since you don't want to come together on one accord to the Creator, let's confuse them. So the Creator scattered them abroad from this upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Creator did there confound their language, of all the earth. And from this did the Creator scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Because of their disobedience to the Almighty, it caused them to be scattered. It caused them not to be able to communicate with one another. And we don't want to be in a situation where we can't communicate with each other because we feel like that everybody else is right. And we want to be like everybody else. We have to learn how to reject wickedness and trust in the Almighty. The Creator tells us in Isaiah, the 47th chapter, in the 10th verse, it says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me." And that's the way it is with us. We do what we want to do. We say, well, don't nobody else see me. I can get away with it. He say, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee. It seems as though the more we know about the Creator, the worse we get. It seems like the Most High become non-effect. He say, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am. Well, who said that I am? The Creator said that I am. I am that I am. But here the scriptures say, we say, I am. I'm the man. I'm the one. And then look at what we say. And there's none else beside me. That's what we say. Instead of giving credit to the Almighty, we give it to everybody else. That's why we accepting tomorrow as the new year. That's why we accepting Christmas. Because we're going on our own thoughts. But there was another time. There was a time when men stood up for the Most High. And they fought against those who wanted to accept false religions, wanted to accept other deities. And we had men to fight against that. So the Creator sent a man by the name of Elijah. Sent him to meet Ahaz, who was king in Israel. And the Creator sent him to fight against Ahaz and the prophets that he had, that he was using, that he had called upon to be the deities in Israel. And when we look at 1 Kings, the 18th chapter, in the 17th verse, it says, and it came to pass, when Ahaz saw Elijah, that Ahaz said unto him, art thou he that troubles Israel? See, Ahaz knew Elijah. And whenever Elijah came to Ahaz, he would tell him about the wrong that he's doing. And you know how it is when somebody constantly telling you about your problems, you got something to say. And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou in thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of God, and thou hast followed Balaam. You have turned your back upon the commandments of the Creator, and now you are following a pagan deity. He said, now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel. Now, here Elijah is telling them, look, I want you to get all of Israel together, and I want them to see a battle between the prophets of Baal and against me, who follow the Most High. And he said, and the prophets of Baal be how many? 450. And the prophet of the groves being 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. And we know Jezebel was Ahab's wife. And she was basically running the kingdom. And she followed these pagan deities. So here is 850 men. And Elijah alone went up against the prophets of Baal. And I want you to hear this, because I want you to see the things that they did at this time, they do the same thing now. He said, so Ahab sent unto the children of YISRAEL and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? How long are you going to try to serve the Most High and also serve the pagan deity? How long are you going to be between two opinions? How long are we going to try to serve the Most High and serve JC? How long? He said, if Yah be Elohim, follow him. But if Baal be Baal, then follow him. Make up your mind, but don't try to do both of them. He said, and the people answered him not a word. The people didn't say nothing. Then said Elijah unto the people, even I only remain a prophet of Yah. Now that's a powerful statement he said right there. And that statement got Elijah in trouble at a different time, because he found out he wasn't the only one. He said, but Baal prophets are 450 men. He said, let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock, and lay it upon wood, and put no fire under. Now watch this. And call ye upon the name of your deities. Whoever you believe in, I want you to call on. And I will call upon the name of Yah. He said, you call upon whatever deity you believe in, but I'm going to call upon the name of Yah. And Yah, and the Elohim that answered by fire, let him be Elohim. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. All the people say, okay, we'll do that. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose one of your bullocks for yourselves, and dress it first. For ye are many, and call on the name of your deities, but put no fire under it. Call on him and see, is he going to rain fire down from heaven and light it on fire? And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from the morning even unto noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. You see them now, jumping up and down, dancing, calling on the name of JC, and they still in the same condition they was in when they left. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them. Elijah began to talk about them and said, cry loud. You just got to holler a little bit louder. For he is a deity, either he's talking, he might be talking to somebody else, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he's sleeping and must be awake. Elijah was talking about him. He might be asleep. You got to holler a little bit louder. He might be on a long journey. Just holler a little bit louder. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their mouth with knives and lances till the blood gushed out upon them. They was cutting themselves trying to get an answer from their deed. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice, nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. They had cried so loud they couldn't even talk no more. They had lost their voice. And Elijah said unto all the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him. And he repaired the altar of the Creator that was broken down. And Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Creator came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of Yah, and he made a trench about the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, fill 4 barrels of water. Not only did he do it, but he put water on it, and poured it upon the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, do it the second time. They did it again. And they did it the second time and said, do it the third time. And they did it again, just putting water all over it. And they did it the third time. And the water ran round about the altar. And he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Yah Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and YISRAEL, let it be known this day that thou art Elohim in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Now I want you to understand something. The people of the pagan deity was hollering, was cutting themselves, shouting. But Elijah did something else. He just called on the name of Yah. He said, hear me, O Yah, hear me, that this people may know that thou art Yah Elohim, and that thou hast turned their hearts back again. Then the fire of the Creator fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces. When they saw the Creator at work, they began to worship. And they said, Yah, he is Elohim. And Yah, he is Elohim. And Elijah said unto them, take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook, Kishon, and slew them there. So all of the prophets of Baal, they killed. They was hollering for their deity, but he didn't answer. All Elijah had to do was speak to Yah, and Yah answered him. And that's all we have to do. All we have to do is put our trust in the Most High, and he will answer. Look at what the Creator tells us in Proverbs, the 28th chapter, and the 26th verse. He said, he that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. Anybody that trusts in his own mind, you looking at a fool. If you think that I know it all, that I'm right no matter what, you know you looking at a fool. But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. We have to be wise. We have to know who to trust in. And a lot of times, if we come together and talk in the name of the Most High, you'll be surprised of what we are able to accomplish. Because I have been just talking to people about the Creator, and like a light go off in me. Just talking about the Most High. And he would open your eyes up. But if we got all of these different opinions and can't never come together, in some cases can't even meet halfway. Sometimes we have to be just like Abraham. When Abram was in his land, all of his father's house believed in other deities. And while he was in his father's house, the Creator couldn't use him. Because he was in the midst of adultery. So the Creator told him, Abram, I want you to leave your father's house. And I want you to go to the land that I tell you. When you have two opinions, it cannot work. There's always going to be conflict. So the Creator told Abraham, look, you got to leave. And in Genesis, the 12th chapter, it says, now Yah has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. He said, look, if you leave home, I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to bless your descendants. I'm going to make your name great. But first, Abram had to leave home. He said, I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. But all of this took place, or was going to take place, once Abram left home. Once Abram got from around all of that adultery all of that, all of the deities that the people was worshiping. Once he let it go, the Creator was able to use it. And so it says, so Abram departed as Yah had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. He was 75. You can't get a 25-year-old to change his mind, but he was 75. And he was willing to change. And Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that he had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. Why is this important that it's showing who Abraham took? Because Abraham took with him those who had like minds that he had. Because the scriptures say that Abraham would teach his children in all of his household about the Creator's law. So all of these are the ones that was in Abram's household. And they followed Abram. And say, and Abram passed through the land unto a place of Sychem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanites was then in the land. After he done left Haran, it say, and the Creator appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there built he an altar unto Yah, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Yah, and called upon the name of Yah. When you look up that, and called upon the name of Yah, it's talking about Abraham began to teach about Yah, began to teach about the Almighty. Abraham taught his household about the Most High. And Abram's journey going on still toward the south. But Abram had to leave from around his father's house in order for the Almighty to bless him. And I'm telling you, when you are around people who are like-minded as you, when you get rid of all of the foolishness and just get people who are just like you, you can prosper. Look at what the Almighty did with the children of Israel in 1 Kings. Second Chronicles, rather, in the 30th verse. How Hezekiah began to do what's right, wanted to follow the Most High. And you have to understand what Hezekiah was going through. He was trying to get a revival of the Most High. And yet, he wanted Israel to come along with him to serve Yah. And he decided to send messengers to bring Israel together. But they began to talk about him, laugh at him. When Hezekiah sent word to come to Jerusalem, to keep the commandments of Yah, to keep the Passover, and unleavened bread. And look at what happened when everybody decided to come together on one accord. 2 Chronicles, the 30th chapter, in the 9th verse. It says, For if ye turn again unto Yah, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them that lead them captive, so that they shall come again into the land. For the Creator, your Elohim, is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you, if you return unto him. Understand what the Creator is saying. The children of Israel had been taken out of the land by the Assyrians, but there were some who were still in the land, but yet they wasn't serving the Almighty. So he's trying to get those who are Israelites to come back and to serve Yah. And maybe even the Creator may have mercy on those who had been taken away captive. He said, so the post passed from city to city through the country of Ephraim and Manasseh, even unto Zebulun. But they laughed them to scorn and mocked them. They laughed at them and talked about them because they was talking about coming together under Yah. He said, nevertheless, divers of Asher and Manasseh and Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem. But there was some, it wasn't everybody, but there were some who humbled themselves and came to the holy city. Also in Judah, the hand of Yah was to give them one heart to do the commandments. That's what, when they came together, the Creator gave them one heart. He gave them one mind to do the commandment of the king and of the princes by the word of Yah. That's all we have to do is come in the name of the Most High. And there assembled at Jerusalem much people. A lot of people came to Jerusalem to keep the feast of unleavened bread, and the second month a very great congregation. They couldn't keep it in the first month because they was unclean and they hadn't all come together. But they came the second month and they kept the Passover and they kept unleavened bread. And I'm here to tell you, when you put the Most High first, everything else will work itself out. The Creator tells us in Proverbs, the 16th chapter and the 7th verse, when a man ways please Yah, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. When your ways please the Creator, you will be at peace. So I'm making a plea with you. My plea is that you choose Yah. It's the same plea that Joshua gave in Joshua, the 24th chapter. Because Joshua spoke to Israel. Joshua was getting ready to die. And he tell them in the 24th chapter, in the 14th verse, he says, now therefore fear the Creator and serve him in sincerity and in truth. And put away the deities which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye Yah. And if it seem evil to you to serve Yah, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the deities which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, are the deities of the Amorite, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yah. Joshua was saying, make a decision. Make a decision who you're going to serve. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve Yah. And as I get ready to leave you, I want you to understand something. And this is what I want you to understand. When we look around and see how scattered we are as a people, I want you to know that we are going to come together. We're going to unite. We're going to become one. And we're not going to continue to have all of these different opinions, because we're all going to serve Yah on one accord. In Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, in the 15th verse, the Creator talks about how the house of Yisrael and the house of Yehudah are going to unite. They're going to come together. And you have to understand that Israel and Judah is divided. They are split. But the Creator said he's going to bring them together and they're going to become one in his hand. In Ezekiel 37 and 15, it says, the word of Yah came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Yisrael, his companion. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companion. Take Judah, and all of those who are in Judah, who's Israel, and all of those who follow after Ephraim, who's in Israel, take them and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Take the sticks and put them together. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, Thus says Yah Elohim, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribe of Israel his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the stick whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. And say unto them, Thus says Yah Elohim, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathens, whether they be gone. And that's where we are. We are among the heathens. The Creator said he's going to take us from among the heathens, whether thou be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. The Creator said he's going to take us up out of this captivity. He's going to bring us back in our own land, and we're going to become one nation. We will no longer have two opinions. We will no longer be divided as a nation. And one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. We will no longer be divided, but we will be one nation, under one Creator, and under one King. Right now, we don't know whether we are for Clinton or whether we are for Donald Trump, when neither one of them care nothing about you. But we have to learn to come together. We got to learn to come together in this captivity. We have to learn to become one here. The scriptures tell us in Psalms, the 133rd division. And we're going to start at the first verse. It says, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." Did y'all hear that? How good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity, not divided, not hating somebody because you don't like what they say, because they don't agree with you, but come together in unity. We can disagree, we just got to learn how. He said, "It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment. It is as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon Mount Zion. For there the Creator commanded blessings, even life forevermore." We have to learn to come together in unity. We have to learn how to put the Creator first in our life. And we got to learn how to talk to each other. When we learn how to talk to each other, that's when we'll start prospering. We got to learn how to talk to each other without arguing, without fighting, without getting mad, without getting upset, without wanting to cuss each other out. Why is that important? Because when we talk to each other, that's how we grow. That's how we get better. I want you to look at Proverbs 27 in the 17th verse. And I want you to get an understanding of what this is saying. It said, "Iron sharpen iron." If you want something sharp, if you want a knob sharp, put some iron or metal on it. Iron sharpens iron. But it didn't just stop there. "So a man sharpened the countenance of his friend." When we talk things out and iron things out, we only get better. We got to learn how to talk things over. That's how we improve. That's how we grow. I know when we're here on Wednesdays at Bible study, and we get to talking about different things, it's amazing how much I learn just by talking things over with somebody with like mind as you. That's what we have to do. And you'll be surprised how much we grow when we come together. So let's come together in unity and become one in the hands of the Most High. May the Creator bless you and keep you. Hallelujah!
We are the people. There's no doubt in my mind.
There's no doubt in my